Alright, what is up everybody? This is Zacharias. We are back with more of Avadon 3, the Warborn here. So without further ado, let's continue with our mission here. So far we have a quest to go to Vanatok's Stead to the north. But I still want to explore more of the rest of the fort before we do that. Several cells have been dug out under the camp. Cimmerian prisoners and interesting magical creatures are held here until they can be sent to Avadon for investigation. You haven't been down here in months, so you aren't sure who or what is being stored. Probably not a Cimmerian. Their warriors tend to kill themselves before they can be captured. Oh yeah, I forgot we have a scarab. Let's make sure these lockpicks are up first. Oh, we have a runestone too, I didn't even realize. A small Cimmerian woman is huddled in the back corner of the cell. She is still wearing her light leather traveling clothes, perfect for an enemy scout. They are filthy. She looks up at you with interest, but says nothing. When you step closer, you see she is very thin. She is also shivering. She's extremely cold. You work for the Cimmerian army as a scout? She nods her head, yes. You can hear her teeth clattering. Hallie. First class scout out of Vanatok's Stead, but you should already know that. Why did you allow yourself to be captured? Are you a spy? Cimmerians are told to kill themselves when facing capture. Since Hallie is alive, there must be more to her story. She looks down at the floor and shivers. Answer me. She looks up at you indignantly, then she starts to shiver uncontrollably. It's really cold down here. Even in her defiance, she is plainly miserable. Answer me, or I will take you to Avadon and I will force it out of you. It's an empty threat. Avadon won't take a prisoner unless there is compelling evidence they have useful information. You have nothing on Hallie yet. She seems to sense this and ignores your threat. Do what you must. I will survive this, she says through chattering teeth, then she turns away. Why won't you answer me? What's the point? You don't care about what happens to me. The guards won't even give me a blanket. I'll make a deal with you. There is one thing I want to say. Bring me something warm and I'll say it. Hallie is a Cimmerian prisoner in the miserable pits below Camp Nightshade. She was cold and shivering. She might be able to speak with you if she was warmer. Okay, I think we can do that. I mean, I'm sure there's a blanket right in the fort. But nothing like killing some cave spiders, right? Okay, one to fire. I think we can sell that later since that's not going to do much for us. Alright, let's go back in here then. Go ahead and use this runestone. When you have a runestone, you can combine it into one of your weapons or a piece of armor to make a stronger item. To combine a runestone and an item, drop them into the forge area to the lower right and press the combine button. If the items in the forge can be combined, you will receive a new item. You can only enhance any weapon or piece of armor once. Burrowing Scarab, 3% to melee damage, 3% to magical damage. Well, Raylan doesn't have much to do with the magical damage, but the melee damage is still good. I wonder why I can't enter that section yet, though. Okay, but where are we gonna find a blanket, though? We really can't just rip off the sheets and give it to her in the room we woke up in. Oh, I haven't even entered this section yet. Camarilla. Camarilla is one of the far lands, occupying much of the northwest corner of Linnaeus. A land of fierce barbarian tribes, an outsider might at first consider it identical to the Wild Realm to the south. This would be a mistake. Once centuries past, Camarilla was the northern expanse of the Wild Realm, to the extent that this huge swath of fiercely independent people could be considered one entity. Then the northern tribes looked east, saw the huge stone cities of Tawan and Daram, and became envious. The southern tribes stuck to the old ways, and the northern tribes began to build stone towers and halls. These tribes began to unite into larger alliances called steads, each with the city at its center. By the standards of, say, Daram, the settlements are miserably provincial and humble, and if you spent a few years searching, you might find someone in Camarilla who cares what Daram thinks. Then Camarilla learned other tricks from the east, like the building of empires, the ways of constant war, the occasional utility of the massacre. The tribes of the west always had their skirmishes, but then the steads of Camarilla banded together and brought a new way of war to the tribal lands, one that caused great suffering and loss in the Wild Realm. The Wild Realm is now part of the Pact, and Camarilla paid yearly tribute to them. Then the Age of Chaos began, and the brutish, rapacious hordes of the Khmer run wild in the Wild Realm once again. Okay, these are pillows. 3 years ago, in cycle 6315, the world went mad. The Pact came out under massive assault from within and without. The Farlands began a coordinated assault on the Pact, and armies invaded from Camarilla and the Tawan Empire. The corruption began to expand. The Warborn of the wretched Titanlands began raiding Pact lands for the first time in decades. Inside the Pact, the rebellion of the Western Wild Realm began a new assault. The Pact states also began to fight each other, squabbling over a number of long contested lands. Normally, Avadon would organize resistance and purge the Pact of disruptive elements. Instead, the power of the Black Fortress was broken. Keeper Redbeard was blamed for the assault and replaced, in a move of questionable legality. The last 3 years have been full of chaos, destruction, and war. The Pact, even in its divided state, have fought the Farland invaders to a standstill. The state of Linnaeus is delicately balanced. One victory or loss might mean everything for the future of the Pact. This box is full of old records, forgotten, crumbling scrolls, most dating from a decade ago or more. Pretty useless. You do find something interesting buried in the pile. It's a rusty iron key on a leather thong. You take it. The Pact is an alliance of 5 nations occupying the central lands of Linnaeus. Though these countries have wildly different cultures, governments, and histories, one thing brought them together: mutual resolve to end centuries of raiding and devastation wreaked by the Farlands, the small powers that surround the Pact. The lands of the Pact are rich and pleasant. They are also flat and difficult to defend. Barbarians, wretches, and titans from the small states at the edge of Linnaeus wreaked devastation for countless years. Then came the rise of Overlord Hanvar of Hoklanda, the warrior and diplomat who united the five-pack states in their uneasy peace. There were three distinct periods in the history of the Pact. The first age, the Black Age, when the Pact was torn apart in civil war, and the Third Age, when the Pact was reformed under the supervision and enforcement of the Fortress of Avadon. Now Linnaeus is racked by war. We are all in a fourth age, the Age of Chaos. None know how it will end. You drop in to see Avadon, one of the few eyes of Avadon permanently stationed here. Eyes are spies, thages, and commanders, and they are far less numerous than hands. Avadon is also unique. He is a native of Svargald, a faraway island of savage sailors and raiders. He bears the tattoos and scars of a member of that particular farland. Now he is a loyal and jovial servant of the Pact. He walks up and claps you on the arm. Greetings, Raylin. Busy time, yes. Feel in the air? Feel in air? Yes. Less spying, more fighting, less for me, more for you. Wait for Avadon to send you out to gather some fresh intelligence, as he does every single time he sees you. I'd like to know more about the Svargaldi. The Vargaldi is a farland. Enemy, yes, my enemy now. Sad, but it is. Would tell you one time the tale of my being here. It's long tale of drama. Describe the Svargaldi. Golly. People of sea, fierce raiders. We are born and die in water. Jolly fighters, maybe foolish at times. Too foolish, yes? Our life was raiding the rich lands of the Pact. Now in this age of chaos, old ways are new again. I like to hear your story. But as I say, story is long and I must concentrate on scrolls. Much is happening. Cerise tells me Avadon orders many maps. Must be ready, yes? Don't displease Keeper, yes? Avadon gave you orders. Yes, message came today. Need sets of maps, fruit movement, something happening in Cameria. This I know. Avadon shuffles through the scrolls and books on the walls, looking for helpful squibs of information. Silly poking at scrolls and wolves at door. Yes, Avadon knows, Avadon will guide. Avadon tends to indicate points of interest by pointing his sword at them. This habit makes other knights extremely nervous. What do you do for Camp Nightshade? I am Eye of Avadon, sent here special a year ago to watch east parts of Cameria. Send you hands out for information. Send to Avadon. Get orders back. Ordinary way of things, yes? You've had orders from Avadon? Recently, but only recently. Before was silence from Avadon for a year. Had to direct own research. Very worrying. Hard to keep happy attitude. Do you need information now? Oh, almost always. You know me. Always asking. Always busy. The Vargaldi are not lazy people. Sure, there is more you could do, given a spare moment. Anything you're trying to learn right now? Right now, I am gathering and sorting and copying and collating what I have learned from last year. Things are happening. Must answer commands of Black Fortress. There are wolves to northeast of Camp Gate. Wander around, look at things. Odd behavior. Find out what is wrong with them. Let me know. What makes you think they are dangerous? Could mean hostile shamans near, commanding them. Camarian raiders? Wild Rum rebels? Could be either. This near camp, not a good thing, no? What exactly should I do? Wolves seem distracted, confused, as if controlled from afar. Standard magical signs. Follow the wolves, maybe see a thing of value to know. Will I be paid? Of course, his way of hand to be paid for risk and work. His way of eye to have much to pay out. I don't wear scarabs, yes? No need. Avadon is the spymaster of Camp Nightshade. Hands revere him for his ability to pay generous rewards for the intelligence he gathers. There are numerous wolves lurking around the camp. Avadon thinks they are the tool of enemy shamans. See if you can follow one of the wolves to the northeast of the camp. Uncover and deal with any spies it leads you to. Alright, and I think there was one more person that seemed to have dialogue. Yeah, this guy. You meet a hand of Avadon. The young sorcerer, still a teenager judging by his face, is dressed in fine fashion. His shoulder is carefully embroidered with Avadon symbol with 2 small white letters, NB, underneath. He greets you with a broad smile and an eager handshake. Greetings. You must be Ray Lin. I'm new to camp. My name is Sharon. His lack of scars and clean, new clothes must mean he's fresh to the war also. What do you do here? Whatever Avadon wants. You should speak with him. He is in here somewhere. He is very good at conscripting anyone who gets within reach. Nice robes. Thanks. Gifts for my parents. They wanted to make sure I stayed warm and dry, so I have more than I need. Do you need any clothes? Pants, perhaps? I have plenty. No thanks. You sour at the thought of wearing someone else's clothes. Sharon is disappointed. Well, if you change your mind, let me know. Are you a new hand? His cheeks turn red. Yes, this is my first assignment. I've only trained until now. I'll make Avadon proud. Count on it. Ah, the boundless enthusiasm of youthful inexperience. You remember it well. What does the NB stand for? North Brow. It's an outfitter shop my parents own back home. Good stuff. Soft and breathable yet strong. And warm when you need to be warm. And cool when you need to be cool. He holds out his sleeve and encourages you to feel the material, which you do. He would make a good salesman. After it starts to feel awkward, you stop. Sharon clearly does not mind you pawing at him. Where is home? Dario. My parents have a home in the capital, but I mostly grew up on our farm with my grandparents. Why didn't you live with your parents? He frowns. It was for the best. They were busy running our business. North Brow, the finest of Kellum tailors. Travelers come from all over the continent to buy our goods. He shrugs and a smile returns to his face. I have no complaints. The farm was great. Plenty of fresh air, good food, and playtime. When not with my tutors. You have private tutors? Sounds expensive. He looks down shyly. My family's business has made us wealthy. Magical training is expensive. I've been lucky to get everything I could want. I realize most are not so fortunate. Okay. I still need to find a blanket, though. Could have sworn I saw one somewhere, though. Dang it, they're guarding it, though. Or at the very least, it's not ours to take. Nobody comes back here when they can avoid it. This is the Keeper's Hall. Every Avadon outpost has one, in case the Keeper has to visit. This Keeper's Hall has never, ever been used. It is locked up, and nobody is allowed in. The doors are chained shut. Except for cleaning every few years, nobody is allowed into the Keeper's Hall. Security reasons. They don't want anyone slipping in and placing traps. Okay, understandable. I could have sworn I saw another blanket somewhere, though. Okay, I'm sure I'll find another one in camp here somewhere, because I have no idea otherwise. Ah, yes, perfect. One's right in here. So let's go back to that cell. You're not looking too good. This might help. She grabs a blanket and wraps it around her. The relief is almost enough to make her weep with joy. After a few minutes, she calms down. Thank you. I didn't think a hand of Avadon was capable of generosity. Are you willing to answer my questions? A few. I will if I can, but I don't know much. I was just a lowly scout. Are you really a scout or spy? Not a spy, never. I'll only agree to be a scout to support my family. I wasn't going to endanger them by doing more than what was necessary. Why did you let yourself get captured? Why not kill yourself like other Cimmerians? I'm no warrior. I don't have the luxury of killing myself to indulge my nation's sense of honor. My family has to eat. Tell me more about why your family needs you to be a scout. We are farmers, going back 5 generations. My husband proudly went to serve when he was called. They paid him in coin. At the same time, the army started to confiscate our farm's food. At first, only a little was taken, because they pay a dead warrior's family with guaranteed food for life. My husband had the misfortune of returning to us with a hurt knee. They stopped paying and they kept talking. I had to go to work. Wouldn't your family be fed if you died? She actually laughs at that. I'm no warrior. Scouts don't get that deal, but we do get paid. Besides, after years of our strongest joining the army and dying in battle, our harvest diminished every year. Soon I doubt there will be enough to go around. Hallie sits in the corner wrapped in the blanket you brought her. She nibbles on some stale bread the camp gave her, clearly savoring every bite. She stands when you get closer. Yes? You owe me. Tell me about Chief Tilla. I know little. She has been the chief of Anatokstead for many years. He was well regarded before the war. I think she is a good leader, but as the war has dragged on, I've heard some disapproval of her. Chief Tilla wants to meet with the Hand, and soon. Can you guess why? She perks up and looks happy for the first time. We've lost so many, and she has a son who just became a warrior. I would do anything to keep my children safe. Maybe she is the same. Perhaps she wants peace. I hope that is it. Then maybe this cursed war can end and I can go home. Why do they disapprove of Chief Tilla? She looks about uncomfortably. I've heard rumors. Some say she's lost her will to wage this war. She's not alone. I know I'm done with it. Maybe in Vanatokstead, many in Vanatokstead want to fight to the bloody end. The fools. Okay, and I notice the game is saving more often than it has in previous Avadon games, so I think maybe I can use that to my advantage, because the game just saved after I finished talking to her. Since before you arrived, Camp Nightshade's smithing needs have been handled by a burly cave man named Oaken. He nods as you approach. Busy times, Raylan. Needing anything today? Anything you can just give me? Oaken looks around, looks nervous for a moment. Then he laughs. Oh, you're just kidding me. Hands have to pay their way. You can't just go around demanding things of us normal people. You wouldn't break the Keeper's laws, would you? Alright, let me see your wares. Oaken makes the best armor and weapons he can with the resources he has, which isn't much. Okay, you know what? I normally wouldn't buy weapons here, but because I'm switching to not javelins, but since I'm switching to spears here, I'm gonna go ahead and put one on. Oaken leans against his anvil, hammer, in hand. Any work that needs doing? Sell something. I don't need anything. Thanks for stopping by, then. Nice to see a familiar face. And Kasich is sitting in the smithy, boots up on the table, carving a long piece of wood. You haven't spoken to him much in the few months since he was transferred here from the Cava. He is the shaman of the Wild Realm. He is also grim, quiet, and slightly twitchy. Normally when you are around him, he is deathly quiet. This time he actually nods to you. Raylan, greetings. Greetings. Cassius nods. Kasich nods. We haven't talked. We should. Things are changing. We hands must talk. We must be ready. What do you think will happen? A new offensive, I think. The era has that feel. Maybe to knock Camarilla out of the war would be all to the good. Okay, that was a quick conversation. This woman is neither a soldier or a servant of Avadon. Very unusual for this camp. She is a merchant, standing by her wagon, eager to trade. 2 guards stand nearby, bored. There are no thieves here. You know her well. She is Trader I, the only traveling merchant who brings goods from the outside world to this remote camp. She waves you over, pointing proudly at the goods arranged on the blankets before you. Greetings, Raylan. It is an exciting time, is it not? Best to buy a few luxuries before you head out to the fight. Any news from the road? Some. I hear things as I travel. The Camarians are still defiant, though they are only able to field an army to the west. The Wild Rim rebels are exhausted, but they show no signs of surrendering. How are conditions on the road? Very dangerous. I stick to the free roads, and then only when I am far from the land of the Wild Rim rebels. Trader I shows you her goods and trades gossip around recent events. She is careful to avoid discussing Hoklanda, though. She gets very heated when discussing her homeland's battles with Kalimdariel. Where do you get your supplies from? All over. It is a time of war. There are always desperate people willing to sell. Also, poor peasants offering the arms they scavenged from battlefields. I buy things and bring them to you. This camp contains my best customers. Don't you worry about where the goods you sell came from? Of course. I never buy anything when I am sure it would hurt my honor. Yet, how can I know? If someone sells a sword, who knows where it came from? Who owned it? If the owner is dead, I do what I can, but there are limits. There anything you're looking for you can't get? So many things. The biggest losses are herbs that grow only in Camarilla. To sell those, I need to find a source and get permission from a hand to trade with the far lands. I would pay well for assistance, if only someone could spare the effort. She looks at you slyly. Maybe I can help you. I'd hope that you would offer. I hear you may be traveling up to Camarilla soon. Just a rumor. If you go to Vantoxstead, I have heard there is a shaman there. A young shaman, a skilled herbalist studying arts the Camarians reject. If she would agree to sell her herbs, I would reward you for the effort. Tell me about the shaman. I work in a world of rumors and vagueness. If I knew more, I would tell you. Why do you need my permission? Stonewall beyond. We can't do anything to help the Farlands, especially in this time of war. I wouldn't risk it, not unless a hand made sure to vouch for me. I want to trade with you. I am pleased to assist Avadon. Let me see your wares. Trader I has an eclectic assortment of goods, the random debris gathered from desperate refugees and fresh battlefields. I don't need anything. Alright, safe travels to you. You met a merchant named Trader I in Camp Nightshade. She asked for your assistance. There is supposedly a shaman in Vantoxstead who runs a highly efficient herb farm. I asked you to try to arrange a trading deal between her and this unnamed Camarian. Protus's letter. An open announcement from Protus, acting keeper of Avadon, to all his hands and eyes. I have heard ugly stories of hands and eyes being insulting and even abusive to the soldiers of the pact. This will stop now. Never forget, Avadon's agents do great good for the pact. We spy, we raid, and we assassinate. However, it is the soldiers who will win this war. We must respect them. It is the soldiers of the pact who stopped the Tawan assault in the battle for Serdica. It's our soldiers who suffer gruesome losses hunting the rebel and Camarian raiders. And it is the soldiers who are being ground up holding back the Warborn at Goldcrag. They will be respected. If I hear of you doing otherwise, the gates of Avadon will fall directly on you. Signed, Acting Keeper Protus. You drop in on Quartermaster Sathi. The large balding quartermaster has the permanent tan of the Kava people. His rounded belly makes you suspect that he hasn't been out in the field in a while. His shaky hand holds a pen. He makes tally marks on the parchment before him. A large ornate mug sits in easy reach. When he looks up at you, you can see dark circles under his eyes. Hello, Raylan. Another hand looking for handouts. You know you're not getting anything here. Can I trade with you? Need things repeated, do you? No trading here. Our supplies are for pack soldiers only. The hands need to look out for themselves. Trader I, just outside, will gladly deal with you. Why do your hands shake? He holds his hands up, trying to show how steady they are. He fails. It's not polite to point out a man's faults, but I will tell you my flaw came from honorable service. What service is that? He seems pleased you ask. 2 years fighting the Cimmerian raiders. Their warriors are tenacious scum. Fight to the death. We knew how to put them in their place. Why aren't you out there fighting? Lost 2 toes to frostbite during a winter patrol. We didn't have a shaman with us. Wasn't good for long marches anymore. Commander said I'd done enough out in the field. Quartermaster Sazi holds his mug in one hand and siphones the on with the other. What else? You know I don't trade. Go outside for that. You look tired. Are you alright? His eyes narrow on you in distrust. Nothing that my medicine doesn't help. He takes a swig of the large mug beside him. I didn't realize beer counted as medicine. Ha, funny hand. Helps me sleep. Keeps the shakes down. I'd say it's good for whatever ails you. Say, I don't trade, but I'm looking for someone to collect some equipment for me. I'd pay in gear. Interested? What is it you need? Alchemical equipment. If you run into any intact pieces in your travels, I could use them. He draws you a sketch of what he wants. It looks like the sort of thing you find in any well-equipped alchemy lab. On second thought, no, it looks exactly like a still. What's the equipment for? I won't lie, I want to scavenge bits from them to finish my still. To make stronger medicine, and by that I mean, you know, liquor. It'd be a real service for the camp. Oh, and don't tell Commander Cerise. How would you making liquor be a service for the camp? Many of us here have seen and done too much. The morale of every soldier would improve if we could forget our troubles for a while. It'd be like an instant vacation from this endless war. He is convinced this is all very reasonable. It would also probably create discipline problems in camp. Why shouldn't I tell Commander Cerise? She's a good commander, but tightly wound, a warrior. She'd forbid it. Even if it would do her good to occasionally drink herself into a stupor. At least she'd forget about her claw hand for a few hours. Yes, I'll get you the equipment you want. He nods approvingly. A useful hand is the best sort of hand. Nice mug. What are you drinking? He takes a big swig and grins sardonically. My medicine. You smell the beer. Sazi's leisure activities are well known in the camp. Quartermaster Sazi asks you for help tending to the needs of the soldiers of Camp Nightshade. He wants you to bring him a bunch of alchemical equipment so that he can turn it all into a still. He mentioned that Commander Cerise shouldn't be told about this, as she would not approve. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, ooh, found another runestone at least. Let's see, do I want to be someone who bends the rules a little bit, or just stay true for what I would do in this sort of like scenario? So yeah, do a little bit more melee damage with that. It's just that when I was playing the first Avadon, we got so many good spears as rewards, but since I already stuck with sword and shield, I couldn't even use them, and I do want as much damage output as I can this time. I'd still like to know what was on that scroll from Avadon. Scroll? I don't remember any scroll. Quartermaster Sazi is building a still to make liquor for the camp. Theresa's surprise turns to fury. Undisciplined drunk. I told him, I don't care if he drinks himself to sleep, but he's not allowed to corrupt the other soldiers. I will deal with it. Thank you for bringing it to my attention, Hand. A reward for your trouble. He places a small bag of coins on the table for you. I told Commander Cerise about your little still project. He clenches his trembling hands into fists. Cerise has already been here to see him. I know. 2 years collecting materials, and she had it all smashed in front of me. I'm lucky I'm not in the stocks. He gives you a slow clap. I'm sure Redbeard is proud of your brave effort. Excuse me, I have work to do. He turns his back on you. His insolence is irritating, but at least he preserved this camp's discipline. Honestly, that's in a time of war, that's exactly what I would do myself, so I don't regret doing that. Okay, we don't have access to the other 2 hands quite yet, so I will take Botan and Nathalie on this mission with me. Chapter 1, Chimeria. The savage tribes of Chimeria are cunning foes of the pack. Forcing them to leave the war would be a major victory. Okay, so this is a small little camp here. We can do some exploring in the meantime. Especially since we do have a quest in the area. I'd rather take the new hands that Jeff wrote for this game, but since we don't have the other 2 hands available, we'll take Botan and Nathalie. I mean, I like Nathalie, don't get me wrong, it's just that, you know, I already took her on so many adventures in the first game that I'd much rather take the new hands. In the distance, you see a small wolf in the underbrush. You're no expert, but you can instantly see that it is acting strangely. It slinks from tree to tree, watching the path. You duck out of sight before it spots you. It is acting more like a spy or a scout than a wild animal. As long as you don't get too close, it might be interesting to see what it does. You try to move out of sight, but the small wolf sees you. Realizing that it's trapped, it snarls and leaps at you. Oh, dang it. Can we load a autosave here real quick? Oh, crap. Hold on, let me get back to that point here. This does not autosave nearly close enough. Alright, well, here we are. I checked the quest dialogue real quick, and it did say this, even though I already talked to her, she might want something from us, so let's actually head back to the prison really quick, and then we can go outside the camp to do another mission. But what does she have for us if the quest says that? You work for the Chimeran army as a scout. If you return home, won't you be dishonored for living as a prisoner? I doubt it. They'll need me. My husband didn't want me to go. I should have listened to him. When it was clear I was going, he told me to come back, no matter what. I need to ask you for a favor. What is the favor? My family has no idea what happened to me. I want to send them a letter, letting them know I'm alright and will come home. I have a brother in Van said. His name is McLosh. He can pass a message to my husband. Will you do this for me? Obviously, I can't pay you. Yes, I will take a message to McLosh. You hand her paper and ink and wait while she pens the letter. She waits furiously for a few minutes, then she rolls it up tightly and kisses the outside. She describes her brother. You take her note and who it should be delivered to. Thank you. I will never forget the hand who was kind to me. I owe you a debt for that. Okay, so that was what she wanted for us. So I was wondering, yeah, after I reloaded the game and checked the quest list to see if Sazzy's quest disappeared after you sold him out, which it does, I saw that Hallie wanted something for us, so that's why I want to go check that real quick. But let's go ahead and head right back outside to where we were. We'll take Botan and Nathalie again. Like I said before, I'd much rather take the new hands rather than past hands, but you know, it's all good. I don't want to lose that one that was, get away from me. You hear rustling in the undergrowth around you. While you were distracted by this fight, other wolves stealthily encircled you. Oh, that's booty. Okay, whatever. I'll kill them anyway. I hope this doesn't entail that the sneaky wolf gets away from me. Stop putting me in combat. I want to follow the other wolf. Or maybe this was meant to happen, I don't know. Okay, so the wolf is still right there. The small wolf slips into the undergrowth to the west and disappears. You look closer and find a concealed pathway. The wolf headed into a ravine to the west. Of course, we would get mugged by wolves constantly now. Okay, so somebody is here. Okay, we got lockpicks right there. There is a lone man standing by this fire, backed by a pack of wolves. He bears the tokens and tattoos of a Cimmerian shaman. He doesn't seem angry or surprised that you have discovered him, only resigned. So you have found me, Raylin. I'm amazed it took you so long. I am Vid, of Chimeria, and my time has come. My work is done, and I am ready. How do you know my name? You would be amazed by all I learned about you. There are a few of you. Spying on you from this close was easy. Who are you? I am a shaman of Chimeria, not one of the weaklings of Vanatok's stead. I was sent by the strong, true tribes to the west. I came to watch you. My vigil is done. Why are you watching us? You will learn nothing from me. When you learn the truth, it will be too late. Vid raises his staff. I am only sad that I will not see the reward for my sacrifice. I am ready. Okay, improved by strength. Oh, nice. Wait, what is that? What's that named? I know it was Shadow Charm in the other two games, but what is it called now? It looks like Air Chrysalis. Envelops the mage in a powerful shield for a short time. Also might restore some of the caster's action points. Doesn't end turn. 50% chance of that. Resistance chant and blade. Okay, cool. Interesting. Can't even use freaking healing right now. You want to take the potion of health. I don't care about your cry for help. You kidding me? I'm gonna bring all your crew if you need to. It is amazing that a spy was able to operate so brazenly so close to Camp Nightshade. The spy is gone. The damage done may be considerable. Oh, screw you. Isn't that something that I just want to loot and, you know, all this stuff is popping up? It is kind of like the original Avadon. And the second one, for that matter. Yo, you fight me. Oh, please. Rejuvenation potion, revives vitality. Gold ring we can sell. Incense we can sell. See, I feel like even with a pull weapon, Blade Master can still tank relatively well, so it's not too damaging by any means. You sacrifice the shield. Alright, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and head back over to Avadon. I think he was the one who gave us the quest. I found the shaman who is making the spy wolves. He will no longer pester us. You describe everything you learn. A Cimmerian spy, so close. Not there for long, I am sure. Surely events move fast now. This happens and orders from Avadon come at last. No coincidence, this. Oh, and I pay you. He gives you a scarab. Good tool for hand out in wilds. Glad you helped, Raylan. And now things go fast and more spying already needed. You mentioned I could do more spying for you? Ah, much movement in Cimmeria, from Wildrum rebels to west. Battle's coming, this is sure. Must cultivate, must find new sources. Who travel? You go to Vanatok, Cimmeria instead to north, yes? It's smugglers that go through there. Minor goods, not important. They break rules, and this gives us right to exploit them. Go to Vanatok, find smugglers, tell them I will leave instructions for them at base of Hawkstone. They will know what I mean. What if the smugglers attack? Kill them, but try to not let it come to that. These are little people. Only value from them comes in knowledge. Do not kill them if it can be avoided. How can I find these smugglers? I need to trust you. We may have a spy contact in Vanatok. The merchant hall might be a good place to ask around. Don't ask those loyal to Cimmeria. If so, we may lose a chance to talk to smugglers. That's all? Give those instructions? Yes, very simple. When they feel against Avadon, fear soils the pants. Yes, then they do what we want. Okay, sounds like a deal to me. Alright, for Kalita, like I said, for her, I'm actually going to work on leveling this up just to see what it's like whenever I do play as her. So I am just going to stay true to the stuff that Botan will be best in, which is the battle skills rather than the utility. Alright, we are still going to explore the rest of the outer area before we proceed, so we will do that in the next part of Let's Play, so I will see you all until then.